Students. Welcome to our week 7 personal goal setting or SMART. This is actually week 7 and week 8. Week 7 being the discussion, and week 8 being the actual activity. Now, personal goal setting using the SMART format is actually something that I've never encountered before and I've never used this before, but in fact, I found it to be a bit helpful in my recent days. Anyways, the end of the lesson, the students are expected to be able to enumerate the different components of SMART goals and use SMART components in creating personal goals. So let's start. Now, what are SMART goals? In 1981, George T. Duran, who was then a consultant and director of corporate planning for Washington Power Company, introduced SMART goals as an instrument to improve the likelihood of accomplishment. So he crafted SMART as an acronym which means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So these elements are necessary to come up with effective goals. So let's discuss them one by one, starting with letter S, specific. Being specific about the goal that you want to achieve is the primary concern of the first acronym. It includes the answers to the common W questions. So what, why, when, and so on and so forth. So when you say specific, this means that you have to be very, very specific about the details of your goals. Next is the letter M, measurable. So measurable means that you have indicators or you have metrics so that you can measure your progress. Now, in my opinion, this is actually one of the most important parts of setting goals, being a goal that is measurable. Why? Because I think that what hinders human beings and what hinders teens and adults from achieving their goals is not being able to measure where they are relative to their goal set. So now, think of how you're going to measure your goals. May it be by grades, may it be by income, may it be by your level of happiness, the number of friends, the people around you. So as long as you can measure your goals, then it is definitely something that you can work on. Next is achievable. Always set goals which are attainable. This is very much true because we cannot set goals that are too far apart from our current abilities. Now, I like to set up my goals as part by part, piece by piece, because it's okay. It's very much okay to set up your goals to an extent that you follow the saying shoot for the stars, even if you fail, you land on the moon. So that is very much okay. But my advice is, and my take on this is, you should set up tiny little waypoints on your way to the stars. So maybe stop at the moon, stop at Mars, stop at Saturn until you reach the stars. Okay, so before you are able to reach for the stars, you have to first be able to go to space. So that would be your first goal. And when you are in space, you have to first have enough sustainable supplies. So that could be your second goal. And then when you have those two things, then you have to have a direction. So that could be your third goal. So point is, take your goals piece by piece, little by little, until you eventually achieve the biggest goal in your life. So make sure that the goals you set in the long term and the short term are different. Your short term is more attainable, but all while achieving them, you are working towards your long term goals. R stands for relevant. It means that you have to focus on something that is appropriate and applicable. You have to set goals which are anchored to your broader goals. So like I mentioned earlier, set those mini goals, measurable goals, achievable goals, so that in the future you can move on and reach your ultimate goal. Okay? Finally, you have letter T. which stands for time bound. Now, lacking a realistic timing will likely lead to unaccomplished goals, and therefore, you should set a time boundary for your goals so that you can be able to uh, know that you have this urgency or sense of urgency. Okay? So make sure that your goals are first specific, next measurable, next achievable, should be relevant, and finally it should be time bound. So give yourself a time limit for this goal because again, humans like to procrastinate. Humans like saying next time na lang. Humans like saying, "Oh, bakit ko gagawin ngayon if I can do it tomorrow?" So give yourself a time limit so that you can, of course, achieve your goal properly. Okay, so that ends our smart goals. It's a very simple discussion. There's not much to say. It's self-explanatory, but again, this is based on how you achieve things. This is based on how you manage yourself. Even if you use smart goals, you cannot achieve you cannot achieve your goals unless you actually manage yourselves. So thank you for listening. I hope this helps with your activity and with your long-term and short-term goals. So thank you so much and have a nice day.